years, Duggar News followers know a lot of things have changed in the Duggar family. At first, they were big stars on TLC due to their IBLP lifestyle and overly conservative beliefs. But after Josh Duggar went to jail, fans realized not everything that shines is glitter and began to question the family's toxic ways. Some of their kids have also called out the messy side of their religion many times. While Jinger Duggar has made a career out of it, some of her other siblings have also questioned their conditioning. One of them has been Joy-Anna Duggar. She recently opened up about how breaking a courtship rule landed her in trouble. Shockingly, it happened over something quite serious as her husband Austin Forsyth almost lost his life. What was it? Duggar News. Joy-Anna began to question her faith, called out Jim Bob's courtship listing and new podcast appearance. Joy-Anna revealed a lot of things about her family. Duggar News followers know how many of the kids have expressed distaste about not believing in some aspects of their religion. Jinger Duggar has also written a book about it. It helped Joy-Anna question things about their religion too. She also added smoke to the fire by calling out more absurd things instilled by her father Jim Bob. Joy-Anna said how all his kids' potential courtship prospects would get a courting checklist. It would contain things about finance, religious standings, and so on. Joy-Anna's husband Austin said some of the things in it were really none of Jim Bob's business, like knowing arrest records. Well, his wife agreed to this inside. She doesn't hate the list, but would like tweaking some things from it. She also revealed some more absurd courting rules that got her in trouble. Duggar News. Austin Forsyth almost lost his life. But Jim Bob was more upset about Joy-Anna breaking courting rules for him during the podcast. The hosts asked Joy-Anna and Austin about their courting period. They wanted to know whether they got into trouble for hugging too long or something like that. That's when the latter said how he totaled his truck and almost lost his life during their courting period. So Joy-Anna wanted to see her boyfriend, but they had to have chaperones during courting at all times. When Joy-Anna went to meet her husband-to-be, she gave him a big hug and started to cry. She did so and held onto his arm for 10 to 15 minutes. Her brother noticed it and told Jim Bob about it, and he was annoyed. During courting, they are not allowed to hold hands, and that's how she violated that rule. Well, Duggar News followers had a lot to say about this story. Some were outraged. They said how Austin almost lost his life in the accident, but all Jim Bob cared about were his courting rules. While Joy-Anna and her husband recited the story in a lighthearted way, viewers were upset. They called the patriarch out for not being empathetic enough and relying on absurd rules. In the world of reality television, the Duggar family has long been a staple, thanks to their show 19 Kids and Counting and its spin-off Counting On. This large conservative family has captivated viewers with their unique lifestyle, strict Christian values, and the challenges that come with raising such a large family. Among the more fascinating aspects of the Duggar lifestyle are the strict courtship and dating rules that Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar enforce on their children. These rules, designed to uphold purity and prevent temptation, range from no physical contact beyond side hugs to always having a chaperone during outings. But what happens when these courtship rules come into conflict with safety and potentially a life or death situation? Austin Forsyth, the husband of Joy-Anna Duggar, is a man who knows this firsthand. He nearly faced a life-threatening accident during a time when he and Joy-Anna were still in the delicate phase of courtship, bound by the rules and expectations set by her father, Jim Bob Duggar. Rumors, insider information, and fan theories have suggested that Austin's close brush with danger was downplayed or disregarded by Jim Bob, who, according to some sources, seemed more concerned with ensuring the sanctity of courtship rules than with Austin's actual safety. If true, this would highlight an almost obsessive adherence to courtship guidelines, to the point of overshadowing personal well-being. The near-tragic incident. The details of the incident are murky, as the Duggar family is notoriously private about anything that might cast them in a negative light. However, those close to the family and keen-eyed fans have pieced together some of the story. Austin, an adventurous individual who has worked in construction, reportedly had a close brush with death while working on a project. Sources suggest that he was involved in an accident that could have cost him his life, possibly involving a fall or machinery malfunction. It was a dangerous situation, one where even a minor error could lead to severe injury or worse. Fortunately, he managed to escape with his life, albeit shaken by the experience. One would assume that this kind of incident would have been a major concern for the Duggars, particularly Jim Bob, who is known to be highly protective of his family. Austin's safety, after all, directly affects his daughter Joyanna, and if they were truly courting, it would make him practically part of the family already. Yet according to some reports, Jim Bob's primary concern was not about Austin's health, but rather whether the courtship rules had been respected during and after the accident. The Duggar courtship rules, a refresher, to understand why Jim Bob might prioritize courtship rules even in such a situation, one must understand the Duggar family's strict approach to courtship. For the Duggars, courtship is a period of time in which a couple can get to know each other, but only within a very specific framework. Physical intimacy is not allowed, nor are unsupervised outings. Text messages are often monitored, and conversations are expected to remain pure. Jim Bob and Michelle have emphasized that these rules are meant to protect their children's hearts and to honor God. They see the period of courtship as a serious commitment, essentially a prelude to engagement and marriage. Any deviation from these rules is considered a slippery slope, leading to potential moral failure. The emphasis on these boundaries is, according to the Duggars, a way to guard against temptation and ensure that their children remain as pure as possible until marriage. However, critics have pointed out that these rules can be suffocating and unrealistic, particularly for young adults who are learning about the world and building connections. Furthermore, in situations where safety and well-being should be the priority, a focus on courtship boundaries can seem misplaced or even damaging. Jim Bob's priorities: courtship rules over safety. The alleged response of Jim Bob Duggar to Austin's near-fatal accident has raised questions about whether he has let his adherence to courtship rules cloud his judgment. According to some insider reports, Jim Bob was more concerned about whether Austin and Joyanna had adhered to their chaperone requirements than about the trauma Austin might have endured. Joyanna, who was present during the incident, may have been allowed to support Austin afterward, but only within the limits set by her father. In some ways, this reaction is consistent with Jim Bob's history of enforcing his beliefs strictly, even at the expense of comfort and empathy. He has been known to put rules above emotional needs, often citing religious values as the justification. For instance, when one of his sons faced legal trouble, Jim Bob focused on protecting the family's image rather than addressing the root issues or ensuring emotional support for the family members involved. Similarly, when daughters like Jinger Duggar have pushed back against strict family expectations, Jim Bob's initial reaction has often been one of disappointment or disapproval rather than understanding. Thus, it's not entirely out of character that he would approach Austin's accident through the lens of courtship rules, rather than with an immediate focus on Austin's health and safety. However, this alleged reaction has disappointed many fans who feel that Jim Bob's priorities should be protecting and supporting his children and their loved ones. The impact on Austin and Joyanna's relationship. The aftermath of the accident reportedly brought Austin and Joyanna closer together. For couples, moments of crisis often serve as bonding experiences, allowing them to rely on each other in ways they may not have previously. For Austin, surviving such a scare might have underscored his commitment to Joyanna, inspiring him to move forward in their relationship with even more determination. For Joyanna, the incident could have been a stark reminder of the realities of marriage and partnership, that life can be unpredictable, and one's partner might be vulnerable in ways she hadn't previously considered. However, Jim Bob's reported response might also have sowed seeds of tension between Austin and Joyanna, if not with Jim Bob directly. Austin, while respectful of Duggar family traditions, may have found himself frustrated by the constraints of courtship, especially when his own well-being was seemingly disregarded. Joyanna, for her part, may have struggled with balancing her loyalty to her father's values with her desire to support Austin. Ultimately, the couple did move forward, and they are now happily married with children of their own. Their marriage appears to be strong, marked by mutual respect and partnership. But one can imagine that the incident and Jim Bob's reaction might have influenced their relationship dynamics and left a lasting impact on how they view the Duggar family's rules and traditions. A broader conversation. The risks of rigid beliefs. Jim Bob's alleged prioritization of courtship rules over safety highlights a broader issue within families that adhere to strict ideological beliefs. While moral guidelines and values can provide structure and a sense of purpose, rigid adherence to these rules, particularly when they overshadow personal well-being, can lead to dangerous consequences. In situations like Austin's accident, prioritizing courtship rules over basic empathy and care for someone's safety may point to a need for re-evaluation. Families like the Duggars, who live in the public eye and promote a specific worldview, may feel pressure to uphold their beliefs without exception. However, situations like Austin serve as a reminder that flexibility and empathy should sometimes take precedence, especially in emergencies. For the Duggars and those who share similar beliefs, incidents like these offer a valuable opportunity to reflect on how values can coexist with compassion and adaptability. Conclusion. Austin Forsyth's near-death experience reportedly brought into question the Duggar family's priorities, particularly those of Jim Bob. While the Duggars' courtship rules are meant to protect their children, strict adherence to these guidelines may come at a cost, especially when they take precedence over health and safety. For Austin and Joyanna, the incident might have been a defining moment in their relationship, one that tested the limits of the Duggar courtship philosophy. And for fans and critics alike, it provides yet another glimpse into the complexities of life under the Duggar rules, leaving everyone to wonder how many more lines Jim Bob might cross in the name of upholding his principles. If you are looking for more Duggar family news, stay tuned by subscribing to this channel for all your updates.